What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing you another video today. It is Thursday, so it's time for our pick'ems video. We're going to talk week 4 of the major 3 qualifiers. We've got some of the spots already locked in for winners bracket, but there's still a lot to play for, and a bunch of teams, they're trending up and trending down. They actually play each other this week. We can find out where some people back in the standings. So let's take a look, and I'll make my prediction. All right, so here we go. We got a triple match week on Friday, which is nice. The double match week stuff is... Anyway, let's get into it. New York versus Miami. We get right into what I think is one of the more interesting matchups this week. It's a big week for the New York subliners who have been slumping super hard to split. And this is a week where it can potentially go from bad to, well, I would say it's worse at this point now. It can go from worse to being rock bottom. So they start off against the Miami Heretics, a team they should beat pretty handily. You see 91.5 to 85% on the predictions. But this is one of those ones where I just don't know with New York's current form how they're going to do in this one. Miami has been, not that great either, really. This split, they beat Boston, and that's been about it. I thought they've had some chances, though, in the last couple of series, and if they actually close maps in this series, this one could get very interesting. I could see New York playing Miami on Rios, and it's just, this one get a little dicey. So I'm actually going to go out a little bit here and say that New York take it into game 5, because I really don't think Miami had the ice to close, but this one's definitely going over 3 maps for sure. I just don't see how New York is able to kind of clean sweep unless they put in a lot of work this week and they're kind of back to form. All right, next up we have Boston versus Optic, and this one I think is a little bit lopsided. 96.83 2DC in the predictions. I'm looking on Bet365 right now. They have Optic Texas a minus 1,000 odds, so a bit wild there. I just think this is one where you just kind of hammer 3-0, and I'm feeling that way. I just don't see how Boston's going to take a map. They've been poor in search, poor in respawn. Just don't see how Optic drops one unless it's some like Fugaze high-res control or something like that. And there's another one I think that's also going to be a blowout. FaZe versus Vegas. You see here a little bit even worse on the prediction side. Vegas is not playing well. It's one of those matchups where it's just a lopsided from the slaying standpoint. I just don't see what maps Vegas can attack FaZe with in the pool. And again, unless it's some weird control win, I just think FaZe win this clean. So I'm hoping, listen, there's a potential where Friday ends up being 3-3-0s. I'm hoping this New York Miami one's kind of interesting, but if it's not, I think this might be a fast day, honestly, on Friday. All right, now we move to Saturday, and this is another, again, interesting one. If New York is still kind of struggling, Vegas maybe playing a little bit better. Now, if we had started this stage, right? Let's take all the results the last couple of weeks away. I would actually have circled this one at the beginning of the stage, because the way Vegas was playing online in stage 2, New York as well, I'm like, this one could be a classic. It could be a really solid one. But Vegas has really struggled with bringing Nissim in. He's got to really step it up in a series against his former team here. That being said, I do think that, just like with Miami, New York's lack of quality and respawns might give Vegas opportunity if they can actually execute and play with some semblance of teamwork. So I really wanted to pick New York to get upset in one of these matchups, and I was like trying to convince myself to do it. I just can't. I see New York this is a 3-1, but if Vegas actually do play good, especially on Friday, I might switch this prediction because well, we'll see. New York and Vegas both play on Friday, so we'll see how I feel Saturday morning on this one. All right, Carolina versus FaZe. I was actually curious about this one on the how big of a favorite FaZe was. Minus 6,600 favorite on Bet365. I'm actually surprised the fan predictions have some on Carolina, but yeah, I just don't see this one for Carolina. FaZe is in cruise control. And Carolina's not the kind of team they lose to. Well, they did lose to LAG last split, so whatever. And I think the last time these two teams played, it was kind of interesting. They kind of turned up on map 3 and then map 4, then they got kind of waxed map 5. Maybe you get that today. Maybe FaZe kind of take their foot off their gas. I mean, between Vegas and Carolina, they're probably due for one of these matchups. Maybe they take an off one. So I'll just give Carolina a map, but I think FaZe closes this one out pretty clean. Then Optic versus LAG. Optic minus 2,500 favorite. It's LAG. Bro, this is another one where I as much as LAG last week, had the 2 victories against some bottom 8 teams, I just don't see it versus Optic. Optic's got a good map pull matchup against them. Maybe I'll give LAG a map because we'll probably see a high-res S&D. LAG will win, but that's about it. All right, we got 3 more matches. Seattle versus Miami. Now, this one's a banger. Potentially, but I think the matchup with these two teams is kind of interesting. The last time they played was during the Major 1 qualifiers, and if I remember correctly, it was kind of a heater. So Seattle looked much improved in respawn. Their S&D's been good. If Miami plays good against New York, maybe they beat New York, they have some confidence coming in. I'm going to say a Seattle 3-1. I don't think this goes to 5. And I think if you look, I'm looking at the books right now. If you take under 4.5 minus 2,000, over 4.5 plus 150, I might take the under on this one on the maps. But again, Miami's a hard team to predict because they're capable of the upsets, but they're also capable of just having absolute sinkers on a day, and you could just never know. And also, I should check right now if Real Madrid is playing on Sunday, because as you know, we have the rule with Miami whenever Real Madrid plays and they win, then usually the Heretics win. And it looks like Real Madrid's playing on Saturday and not on Sunday, so RIP on that one. Next up, we have a Minnesota Rocker versus the Toronto Ultra, and just like with sort of Carolina FaZe, Optic Boston, I just don't see Minnesota being able to really challenge Toronto. Now, Toronto Surge has been a little bit sus, so I'm going to give Minnesota a map in this one, but I just don't think Minnesota's going to really stack it in the respawns against them. That being said, you know, you never know. Maybe Minnesota kind of get it going during one of these series. They have played a couple of times this year. I think the last time, looking up, I remember the last time they said teams played, it did get close. It was a game 5er, but then Rocker, now I remember this one. Rocker got 6-0'd on Invasion S&D. This is the Big Wake disaster class map. Obviously, Wake's not on the team anymore, but the respawn for Minnesota has been sus, especially get some new maps. I feel like Toronto's going to cruise and take care of business. And this could be, the next one could be probably the most fun one, Thieves versus Boston. So I personally think that Thieves are very good, and they're a minus 225 favorite. And I assume, most of the predictions are on this, but the problem with Thieves is they might not have their dog in them as a team. Like, they are good. They got an idea of the fundamentals they want to execute, but they can't close out maps. Let teams kind of get back into series. You saw with the Minnesota Rocker series last week, like, Thieves should have won that. So I ain't going to bank on a Thieves win, but a dicey one where Boston do get this to game 5 and then Thieves close out. Realistically, I think Thieves should be able to 3-0-3-1 this, but they can't be trusted to do so. And until then, I'm going to pick a game 5 in this one. So I wasn't really feeling any of the upsets this week. I just don't. I mean, there's likelihood we're going to get one, and I think Miami would potentially be on the end of one of them. I just don't know if I want to go and pick that. So for now, we're picking favorites. Maybe I'll change my mind by the time the video comes out. I don't know, but here is what we got prediction wise for this week. If these results kind of is how things go, we're going to have a very interesting battle for the last 3 spots at a major 3 next week. So that should be interesting. And if New York do fumble this week, they're going to be in a very weird spot in the standings where, 1, they may have to win one more game to make winners bracket. But more importantly, 2, they might have to play a top 4 team in winners round 1. So there's a real possibility that New York kind of fumble the bag major league at this event. So we'll see what happens. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of the video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. As always, guys, we'll see you on the next one.